the day gravity lost its grip. Another pathetic excuse for a workout session, Coach Kranx'thor bellowed, his forearms crossed in disappointment as he watched the newest batch of recruits struggle through their warm-up routine. His crystalline skin caught the fluorescent lights of the Ultra-Elite Galactic Fitness Center, sending rainbow refractions dancing across the antimatter-reinforced walls of Station Omega-9. Back in my competition days, he announced to no one in particular, while his assistant nodded mindlessly beside him, we Centaurians would crush gravitational resistance pods like they were made of atmospheric vapor. He paused for dramatic effect, flexing his biceps, all 8 of them. Now look at what the Galactic Federation sends us. Soft species, beings who think lifting at 2 times their planetary gravity is an achievement. The Ultra-Elite Galactic Fitness Center stood as the crown jewel of Station Omega-9, a massive space installation that orbited the galaxy's most prestigious sporting star system. Its transparent dome offered a spectacular view of 3 suns, which Coach K often claimed helped him photosynthesize extra energy during his legendary training sessions. Coach K, as his more successful pupils dared to call him, had earned his reputation by training 17 galactic champions, though he never counted the Jovian gas lifter, because honestly, what else were they supposed to do except float around majestically? His training methods were as infamous as his success rate, and his prejudice against what he called gravity-bound species was legendary. The facility itself was a marvel of modern engineering, equipped with quantum-stabilized weight sets that could simulate the gravity of any known celestial body. The pride of the gym was the gravity chamber, a monstrous dodecahedron of gleaming metal and pulsing energy fields where the real training happened. Coach K had personally overseen its calibration, ensuring it could challenge even the mighty Triaxian powerlifters. Remember, he shouted at a trembling Venusian attempting a basic molecular density increase. My grandmother could phase shift better than that, and she was practically crystallized. His booming laugh echoed through the chamber, causing several meditation spheres to vibrate sympathetically. Coach K checked his quantum-linked training schedule, his upper right arm absently adjusting the gravity dampener on his utility belt. The next session would bring yet another batch of hopefuls, dreaming of glory in the upcoming Pan-Galactic Strength Championships. His crystalline features shifted into what passed for a smirk among his species. Let them come, he muttered, watching a Martian struggle with a simple antimatter barbell. They will learn, as all do, that some species are simply meant to remain in their low-gravity cradles. He didn't bother hiding his disdain as he added another notation to his training log: standard gravity species unsuitable for advanced training. Recommendation: basic movement courses only. Just another day at the galaxy's most elite fitness center, where Coach K stood guard against the dilution of true strength training by those he deemed unworthy of his time and expertise. Coach K was in the middle of his favorite activity, berating a Neptunian frost giant for their laughably light choice of quantum weights, when the doors of the Ultra-Elite Galactic Fitness Center whispered open. The figure that walked in caused several of his crystalline facets to twitch in amusement. Well, he rumbled, all 4 arms settling on his hips in what he considered an intimidating pose. What do we have here? Computer, identify new arrival. The AI responded in its usual melodious tone. New member registration: Maya Rodriguez. Species human. Current assignment: Earth Space Force. Advanced Combat Division. Clearance level Ultra-Elite approved. A ripple of laughter spread through the gym. The Triaxian powerlifter dropped his gravity ball, which promptly dented the reinforced floor. Even the usually stoic quantum cloud being in the corner pulsed with amused frequencies. Maya Rodriguez stood 5E in her standard-issue training suit, her dark hair pulled back in a practical braid, expression neutral as she surveyed the facility. Coach K noted with disdain that she barely topped 65 kilos, practically a void particle in gravitational terms. Welcome, Coach K announced, his voice dripping with mock enthusiasm. I see the Federation's Equal Opportunity Program is really scraping the bottom of the nebula these days. Tell me, tiny human, did you get lost looking for the zero-gravity yoga studio? The other gym members snickered. The Jovian gas lifter expanded himself to 3 times his normal size, trying to appear impressive. Maya simply walked to the registration terminal, her boots making soft clicks against the quantum-stabilized floor. I would like to register for the Advanced Gravity Training Program, she said, her voice carrying clearly across the suddenly quiet gym. My Federation credits have already been approved. Coach K's crystalline structure nearly shattered from containing his laughter. The advanced program? Oh, this is too precious. Draxx, are you recording this? The historical archives will want documentation of this moment. His assistant, a silicon-based life form named Draxx, dutifully activated his recording crystals. All channels active, Coach. Maya stood patiently at the terminal, waiting. Coach K floated over, his gravity dampeners humming as he deliberately increased his mass to loom over her. Listen here, Earth particle, he said, trying to sound reasonable despite his obvious amusement. The advanced program starts at 5 times standard Earth gravity. Even our warming-up routine would liquefy your fragile calcium-based structure. Why don't you try the tourist program? I hear they have lovely anti-grav meditation sessions. My paperwork is in order, Maya replied, tapping the terminal screen. Federation Regulation 7249X clearly states that any cleared member has the right to attempt any training program, regardless of species. A Martian mega lifter nearly dropped his plasma weights. Is she serious? Coach, tell me she is not serious. Coach K's upper right arm rubbed his crystalline temple in exasperation. Fine, fine. Who am I to stand in the way of natural selection? Computer, process registration for. He paused dramatically. Maya Rodriguez. Registration confirmed. The AI responded. Training begins at 0600 station time tomorrow. Welcome to Ultra-Elite, Maya Rodriguez. As Maya walked toward the locker rooms, Coach K called out, I will personally oversee your first session. I have not had such quality entertainment in cycles. The human gave no response, disappearing through the doorway as the gym erupted in speculation and laughter. Coach K turned to his assistant, all 4 arms spread wide in disbelief. Draxx, add a note to tomorrow's schedule. 600 hours witness the fastest workout termination in Ultra-Elite history. And make sure the medical bay is on standby. These soft species always needed after their first reality check. The silicon being bobbed in acknowledgement, its crystalline surface reflecting the amused faces of the other gym members. None of them noticed the small smile that played across Maya Rodriguez's face as she prepared for her first day of training. At precisely 0600 station time, the gravity chamber hummed to life, its dodecahedral walls pulsing with contained power. Coach K stood at the control panel, making a show of checking the safety protocols twice. Now gathering for the morning entertainment, he announced to the growing crowd of early morning gym goers. Watch closely as we demonstrate why some species should stick to their home gravity wells. The gravity chamber was the pride of Ultra-Elite, a masterpiece of engineering that could simulate everything from the crushed density of a neutron star to the feather-light pull of a passing comet. Its walls were lined with quantum field generators, each panel capable of creating its own localized gravity well. The floor was embedded with pressure sensors that adjusted in real time, preventing unfortunate accidents like that time the Jovian gas lifter had nearly been compressed into a new state of matter. Place your bets, called out Draxx, his crystalline surface reflecting the eager faces of the gathered crowd. How long before the human requests termination? Current pool stands at 3 minutes average. Maya Rodriguez stepped into the chamber wearing standard workout gear, looking impossibly small against the massive machinery. The betting grew more intense. 2 minutes. 90 seconds. I say she makes it 4 minutes. These humans are stubborn. Coach K adjusted his gravity dampeners, floating smugly near the control panel. Now then, tiny human, we'll start you at a mere 2 times Earth gravity. We wouldn't want to discourage you too quickly. The chamber hummed louder as the gravity field engaged. Maya's posture shifted slightly, adjusting to the increased weight, but she remained standing. Coach K frowned. Perhaps you didn't notice. Gravity is now doubled, he said helpfully, tapping the display with one of his lower arms. Maya began her warm-up routine, moving through basic stretches with deliberate care. I noticed. Standard Earth Force training starts at 3 times gravity. The crowd murmured. Coach K's crystalline structure flickered with annoyance. Computer increased to 4 times Earth standard. The gravity field densified. Maya's movements slowed, but she continued her exercises, sweat beginning to bead on her forehead. The betting pool grew chaotic. 30 more seconds. Look, she's struggling. Is that a grimace? That's definitely a grimace. Computer, display vital signs, Coach K commanded, certain he'd see the telltale signs of imminent collapse. The holographic readout showed elevated heart rate and increased muscle strain, but nothing approaching dangerous levels. Fascinating, muttered a quantum cloud being who had drifted in to observe. The human cellular structure is adapting to the increased load. Most species simply compress. Maya completed her warm-up and moved to the weight rack. Coach K almost forgot to maintain his gravity dampening field as he watched her select a training weight that would be challenging at normal gravity. "Surely you don't intend to," he began. She did. The assembled aliens watched in growing confusion as Maya began a series of carefully controlled lifts. Her form was perfect, her breathing measured. 5 minutes passed, then 10. "The betting pool is becoming mathematically complex," Borax reported nervously. "Several members are attempting to place reverse chronological wagers." After 15 minutes, Coach K's curiosity overtook his prejudice. He adjusted the sensor arrays, studying the readings with all 4 eyes. The human's muscles were straining, certainly, but they were also changing. Remarkable density adaptation at the cellular level, noted the quantum cloud being. The human tissue is restructuring itself to handle the load. "I don't suppose you'd allow me to take a few samples?" "No sampling," the client's Coach K replied automatically, his attention fixed on the readouts. "Computer, increased to 5 times Earth standard gravity." The chamber thrummed as it increased power. Maya paused, taking several deep breaths. The crowd held their collective respiratory apparatuses. Then she resumed her exercises, moving slower but with the same controlled precision. "Ha!" shouted a Martian mega lifter. "Look, she's struggling now. Any moment." But the moment didn't come. Maya worked through her routine methodically, each movement deliberate and focused. After 30 minutes, she carefully racked her weights and stood in the center of the chamber. "I believe that completes the baseline assessment," she said, her voice steady despite the sweat soaking her training suit. "Same time tomorrow." Coach K's crystalline surface rippled with conflicting emotions. "You want to continue?" "Unless you're concerned about your facility's power consumption," Maya replied, the faintest hint of a smile touching her lips. The gathered crowd burst into confused discussions. The betting pool had evolved into a complex quantum probability equation that was giving Borax a headache. Same time, Coach K found himself saying, all 4 arms crossed to hide his discomfort. "We'll see if you're still standing after a full week of real training." As Maya walked out of the chamber, her steps firm despite the workout, Coach K turned to his assistant. "Borax, pull all available data on human physiological adaptation, and update the training protocols. It seems we may need to recalibrate our baseline assumptions." "And the betting pool?" Borax asked. Coach K watched the door where Maya had disappeared, his crystalline features set in a thoughtful expression. "Let it ride. Something tells me we're going to need a much longer timescale." 3 weeks into Maya's training program, the Ultra-Elite Galactic Fitness Center received its most notorious regular member. Champion Draxx of the Kroloxi Dominion ducked his massive frame through the reinforced doorway, his armored exoskeleton gleaming under the artificial lights. Coach K, his voice boomed through the facility, causing several meditation spheres to shatter. The rumors better not be true. Coach K felt his crystalline structure vibrate with anxiety. "Champion Draxx, what an unexpected honor during your competition season." The massive Kroloxi warrior stomped toward the gravity chamber, each step leaving slight indentations in the quantum-reinforced floor. "I hear tales of a human, training at 7 times Earth gravity. Have your sensors been corrupted by solar radiation?" Before Coach K could respond, Maya emerged from the chamber, her training suit soaked with sweat, but her posture straight and controlled. The entire gym went silent, except for a Jovian gas lifter, who couldn't help but release an impressed whistle of atmospheric gases. By the cursed black holes of Sector 9, Draxx rumbled. So it is true. The mighty Ultra-Elite has become a circus attraction. The facility's AI system, sensing the rising tension, automatically began broadcasting the scene to all public screens on Station Omega 9. Within minutes, the gym's observation deck began filling with spectators. "I am Draxx, 12-time champion of the Kroloxi combat pits, holder of the pan-galactic deadlift record, the only being to ever complete the Neutron Star Challenge." His exoskeleton plates flared with pride. And you, tiny human, are making a mockery of this sacred training ground. Maya toweled off her face, seemingly unimpressed. The facility is open to all Federation certified members. I have met all qualifications. Drax's laughter shook loose several ceiling panels. Then perhaps you would not mind proving your worth. 3 days from now, in this very chamber, we shall see who can endure the true test of strength. The crowd that had gathered began broadcasting the challenge across all known frequencies. Coach K watched his workout center transform into an interstellar media circus in mere minutes. The terms Maya asked quietly. Simple. We begin at 10 times Earth gravity. Last one standing claims victory. When you fail, you will leave this facility and never return. When I win, the galaxy will remember why soft species should stay in their low-gravity cradles. Coach K found himself floating forward. Now, Champion Draxx, as the facility supervisor, I must point out. I accept, Maya said, cutting him off. The assembled crowd erupted in chaos. Betting pools spontaneously formed across 3 sectors of space. The quantum cloud began calculating odds so complex they threatened to create a localized time distortion. 3 days, Draxx bellowed, turning to stomp out of the facility. Prepare yourself, human. I will enjoy demonstrating true strength. As the crowd dispersed, already spreading news of the upcoming spectacle, Coach K pulled Maya aside. His crystalline surface was flickering with unusual patterns. Do you realize what you have done? He asked, his voice uncharacteristically serious. Draxx once trained in a gas giant's core for fun. His species evolved in a gravity well that would crush most beings into quantum paste. Maya smiled, a gesture that somehow made Coach K even more nervous. Then it's fortunate I have the galaxy's best strength trainer to prepare me, isn't it? Coach K felt all 4 of his arms tingle with an unfamiliar sensation. Was this what other species called worry? Or worse, was it hope? Computer, he announced, his voice carrying across the now quiet facility. Recalibrate the gravity chamber for maximum output. And Borax, cancel all my other appointments. It seems we have some serious training to do. As Maya walked back into the chamber, Coach K found himself wondering if perhaps, just perhaps, he had been wrong about more than just humans. The next 72 hours in the Ultra-Elite Galactic Fitness Center redefined the meaning of intensive training. Coach K had dismissed his other clients, much to the disappointment of a Plutonian ice warrior who had traveled 3 parsecs for a consultation. Again, Coach K called out, all 4 arms manipulating the gravity controls. Your cellular density is increasing, but not quickly enough. Humans are supposed to be adaptable, so adapt. Maya moved through the brutal routine, her muscles straining against 9 times Earth gravity. The quantum cloud being who had appointed itself as their scientific advisor hovered nearby, spouting analysis. Fascinating. The human bone structure is actually becoming more dense at the molecular level. And look at the muscle fiber adaptation rate. I have not seen such rapid evolution since the Great Gastropod Racing Championships of 2184. Less talking, more data, Coach K barked, his crystalline surface reflecting the constant stream of biometric readouts. Maya, your lactic acid levels are approaching toxic. Take a 30-second break. No time, Maya gasped, continuing her reps. Only 2 hours until Draxx arrives. The gym had become surprisingly supportive over the past 3 days. The Martian mega lifter had shared his secret protein crystal formula. The Jovian gas lifter provided atmospheric resistance training. Even the usually solitary Triaxian powerlifter stuck around after hours to spot her lifts. Coach Borax called out, his crystalline surface flickering with concern. The betting pools have evolved consciousness and are now debating philosophy. Also, the station's structural integrity monitors are complaining about the gravity fluctuations. Tell them to reinforce the supports, Coach K snapped. Maya, your body is adapting faster than any species I have ever trained. These readings, they should be impossible. Maya completed another set, her breathing controlled despite the crushing gravity. Humans evolved on a planet that tried to kill them every day. We adapted then, we adapt now. The quantum cloud being pulsed with excitement. Yes, according to my calculations, human physiology possesses an extraordinary ability to. Not now, Coach K and Maya shouted together, causing the being to drift away in a sulk. As Maya pushed through another set, Coach K found himself doing something he had never done in his centuries of training. He began to believe. His crystalline structure vibrated with an unfamiliar emotion as he watched this supposedly soft species rewrite everything he thought he knew about strength. "Your form is still sloppy," he grumbled, adjusting the gravity field with unprecedented precision. "But perhaps there is something to be said for human stubbornness." The observation deck had filled with supporters. Species that normally avoided each other were crowded together, watching the preparation with growing excitement. A group of Neptunian frost giants had even started a chant, though their icy breath was causing climate control issues. Final readings, Coach K announced as Maya completed her last set. Cellular density increased by 47%. Muscle fiber efficiency up by 89%. Bone structure well. The sensors gave up trying to measure that yesterday. Maya stood in the center of the chamber, gravity crushing down at 9 times Earth normal. "Think it will be enough." Coach K's crystalline surface shifted through several colors before settling on a determined blue. "No, but I have learned that with humans, enough is rarely the point." He paused, then added gruffly, "Also, I have reprogrammed the gravity chamber's emergency protocols. Try not to die. The paperwork would be tremendous." A chime sounded through the facility. 1 hour until the challenge. As Maya headed to the recovery chamber for final preparations, Coach K turned to his assistant. "Borax, update my training protocols. Create new category, deceptively resilient species. And clear my schedule for the next cycle. I believe we may need to revise several of our baseline assumptions about strength training." Station Omega-9 had never seen such a crowd. The Ultra-Elite Galactic Fitness Center's observation deck groaned under the weight of countless species, while quantum-linked broadcasts transmitted across 17 sectors of space. Champion Draxx entered first, his armored exoskeleton gleaming under the enhanced lighting installed for the broadcast. He stomped into the gravity chamber, leaving dents in the reinforced floor, despite the facility's best containment fields. 10 times Earth gravity to start, he announced, his voice booming through the station's communication systems. "Let us see how your soft species handles real pressure." Maya walked in wearing her standard training suit, looking impossibly small next to the Kroloxi warrior. Coach K hovered near the controls, his crystalline structure vibrating with tension. Beginning gravity increase, the facility's AI announced. 10 times Earth standard gravity. Engaged. The chamber hummed with power as the crushing force descended. Neither competitor moved. The quantum cloud being's readings went berserk. 15 times Draxx growled, his exoskeleton plates shifting to compensate. Maya nodded, sweat beginning to bead on her forehead. Coach K's readings showed her cellular structure adapting in real time, density increasing beyond anything their sensors were designed to measure. 20, Maya countered, her voice strained but clear. The crowd gasped. The chamber's structural integrity warnings began flashing. The Jovian gas lifter had to excuse himself to avoid explosive decompression from excitement. "Impossible," Draxx roared, but his legs were beginning to shake. 25. The gravity field became visible, a shimmering distortion that bent light itself. Maya's muscles bulged, her body adapting in ways that sent the quantum cloud being into a frenzy of calculations. Then it happened. A grinding sound came from Drax's direction. His exoskeleton, designed for the crushing pressures of gas giant cores, began to crack. How he managed, dropping to one knee. Humans, Maya explained through gritted teeth, never evolved to handle crushing gravity. Instead, we evolved to adapt to whatever tries to kill us. The more pressure you add, the stronger we become. The chamber's readouts exploded with warnings as Maya took a step forward, then another. Drax's other knee hit the ground. "I yield," he gasped, his mighty exoskeleton creaking in protest. The gravity field disengaged. The observation deck erupted in chaos. Betting pools across 3 sectors simultaneously achieved enlightenment and transcended their programming. Coach K floated down to Maya, all 4 arms spread in disbelief. "In all my cycles of training, I have never outed you." Maya grinned, standing tall despite the lingering effects of 25 times Earth gravity. "Coach, remember what you said about soft species? Sometimes the strongest metal starts out as the most flexible ore. 1 month after the legendary gravity chamber challenge, the Ultra-Elite Galactic Fitness Center had undergone some significant changes. A new sign hung beside the entrance, specializing in adaptive species training all gravity levels welcome. Coach K floated near his usual spot, watching Maya guide a nervous Martian through adaptation exercises. His crystalline structure had permanently shifted to a more humble shade of blue. Remember, he told his assembled clients, which now included species from across the galaxy, strength isn't just about withstanding pressure. Sometimes it's about adapting to it. Though I still say humans are cheating somehow. The quantum cloud being, now a permanent resident of the facility, pulsed with agreement. Indeed, my latest calculations suggest that human adaptation rates are technically impossible. I have had to invent 6 new branches of mathematics just to explain their cellular response patterns. Borax approached, his crystalline surface flickering with amusement. Coach, the new registration numbers are in. We have a waiting list 3 light years long. Also, Champion Draxx has requested a rematch. And Maya's response, Coach K asked, already knowing the answer. She suggested he first try her new training program, starting Gravity Plus for those who think they are ready. Coach K's crystalline laugh echoed through the facility. You know, I used to think some species were naturally stronger than others. Now I realize that strength comes in many forms, though I still cannot believe humans evolved on a planet with only one gravity. About that, Maya called from across the gym. Wait until I tell you about something we call parkour. Coach K's security crystal paled noticeably,